During my teenage years, Swansea were one of the most iconic Premier League teams. Players like Wilfred Boney and Michu were cult icons. If you didn't experience these guys in their prime, you missed out. But nowadays, Swansea are lucky to not be in the third division, surviving relegation by just 7 points. Swansea's owner has approached me in desperation, striving for a rebuild of both club and country. A transfer embargo has been placed on the Swans where they can only sign Welsh players from here on in. Not sure why, but I've accepted this crazy challenge. Come on, the Swans. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is the default starting 11 we do have here with Swansea, but things are about to change massively. From here on in, we can only deal with players from the country of Wales. And the majority of this side with Swansea, even though they're in Wales, are not Welsh. Now, I am allowed to keep players that are in the squad, but I cannot purchase anybody else that is not Welsh from here on in. So someone like Ronald can stay at the club, but then someone like Ronald Araujo cannot. First things first, do we have any Welsh players in the youth academy? If we do not, that is disgraceful. That is absolutely disgraceful. I mean, technically, I could bring these guys into the club because they're starting off at the club, but none of them look good anyways. Straight away, we are hitting the open market, bringing in a left back of the future. Niall Huggins is going to be joining us here from Sunderland for £1.9 million. And I mean, we do not have the craziest budget at the moment, so we have to be very smart with who we bring in. We're not wasting any time though, fellas. Dylan Levitt is the next man up. The Welshman are coming across here and straight into the starting 11 from Hibs. With this current squad, there is a bit of a clean out necessary of the old guard. First of whom is going to be Jay Fulton. The Scotsman is heading to Leeds United. And Jamie Patterson is heading to the Belgian League. Need to get some loan moves done though for our best young prospects. Joel Cottrell heading to Barrow for 2 years. Sam Parker heading to Bradford for 2 years. The Englishman Nathan Wood off to Feyenoord for a year. And Cameron Congreve, the Welshman, heading to Crewe on loan. So we finished that run of loans with a massive transfer. One of my favorite players in the Fulham squad. This dude is a magician on the ball. Harry Wilson, I will say, way too good to be playing in the Championship. But right now, I do not care. I'm more happy we got him. Harry Wilson making the move from Fulham. But I am going to convert him to a left winger though and fill that role. I'm happy with Ronald on the right wing at the moment. I'm trying to get more money in though so that we can sign another player. There's one man who I desperately want, so Liam Walsh has been sold to help finance that. I'm so frustrated though, I won't lie. I wanted to make one more signing in this window, but we needed to sell at least one of these guys to get the money in for it. Not a single transfer offer for either of them is so annoying, so we're gonna have to deal with the team we have right now and hope we can do that in January. But this is how the starting 11 is looking as it stands. I'm hopeful, but I'm gonna be real. I don't think we're gonna be in the promotion hunt or even close to it. I think it's gonna be another season of Swansea battling relegation. We're gonna have to lean heavily on players like Harry Wilson and Ronald and Colin as well to just get us through this period. All right, yeah, we're in this relegation battle. We are in the thick of it. I have made the table so that the promoted sides from League One have come up, the relegated Premier League sides have come down, and I'm surprised to see Sheffield United down in the relegation battle with us. An absolute logjam here. We need to make some business happen in January. I want to get that signing that I tried for in the summer window. You guys will see. Well, at least I hope you do. Hopefully we actually get some offers this time. Finally, we get a transfer offer. We are 22 days into the January window. This is the first offer we've had for any of our loan listed guys. This better not fall apart. Praise the Lord. Oh my, I didn't think I'd see this moment. But it is Josh Ginnerly heading to the Belgian League. And here we are on transfer deadline day. We get it done. This was so stressful, man. But we get Nico Williams into the side. I almost said the Frenchman. The Welshman, which I don't think I'll have to clarify anymore, is joining us from Nottingham Forest for £6.8 million. Just like Harry Wilson, I would be shocked if I saw this happen in real life next year. But I'm happy it's happening right now. There it is. A bit of stability in the second half of the season here with Swansea. We are staying up in the Championship and we have a half decent squad to build on next year. Although just looking at that, goals didn't seem to be the problem. We scored a lot of them, but we also conceded a bunch. Top of the table is going to see Leeds and Luton up in the Prem. And heading down to League One, it's Sheffield United survive, Bristol City, Wayne Rooney's Plymouth Argyle, and Sheffield Wednesday go down. Arsenal win the FA Cup in Season 1, and the Carabao goes to Wolves. But it will be Middlesbrough, who I believe came third, going up to the Premier League as well. Harry Wilson and Ronald have +5 for the Brazilian. Yes, they have absolutely carried for us. I said that's what we were going to have to do. Decent season for Liam Cullen as well, but we're going to have to really step it up next year as well, because our clean sheet leader and goalkeeper Carl Rushworth is returning to Brighton, and unfortunately there's not many great Welsh goalkeeping prospects coming through. We're also going to be saying goodbye to Joe Allen and Kyle Norton at the end of the season. The lad's off on loan though, +3 for Congreve, +3 for Ogbeta, who was already off on loan. Pedersen, probably going to sell him next year. Nathan Wood up to a 70, Parker up to a 59. Some decent growth all around though. This guy, Joao On, that's an interesting name. +2 growth for him. He could be a half decent prospect though. I've been noticing lately a fair few decent young Indonesian prospects. I might have to do an Indonesian rebuild here soon. But we've got through Season 1. We survived relegation. We need to build with this Welsh side in Season 2. This season isn't going to go the way I necessarily expected it to, because looking at the overall depth of talent coming through Welsh football, we are screwed. We're going to sign Danny Ward as a goalkeeper here on a cheap as a short-term goalkeeper option, but we need to invest in the future of Welsh football. Immediately, I'm going here and I'm going to hire five-star scout Jake Kennett. It's going to take a huge bite out of our transfer budget, but we need to do it. To start things off, I'm going to spend the next 3 months searching for a goalkeeper prospect, but after that, I'm just going to go on any and see if we can get some good players coming through, because there's good players that are really young that I want to try getting in and growing up, but there's no mid-tier players who could become superstars. One of the best young players though in Welsh football, we all know about him at this point, it is Luke Harris. Applying his trade at Fulham, we've signed him on a permanent deal here. His value goes up, which is good, but we get him for just shy of 2 mil. Basically every player I'm about to sign in this video, at least this season, is going to go straight up on the loan list. And that's exactly what we're doing with Luke Harris. But just because we're signing a bunch of players doesn't mean we're not going to sell. Jerry Yates is off to Alaves. And our second signing of the season is from a very famous name in Welsh football. It is Charlie Savage joining us here from Reading, £1.8 million. The young defensive midfielder, again, just like Harris, going on the loan list. The talented winger, Lewis Kulmas, is going to be joining us from Liverpool. Ideally, down the line, I would love for him to eventually take Harry Wilson's starting left wing spot, but time will tell. Again, going straight on the loan list. Azim Abdullah is heading off on loan, the Scotsman heading to Dusseldorf. And we're also saying goodbye to Josh Timon on a permanent deal. Luke Harris gets his loan move, 2 years at Club Bruges. And Plaqueta, our Polish left midfielder, joins Southampton permanently. Charlie Savage gets his loan move to Alaves, and everybody's loaned out now. Kulmas gets his move, 2 years in Serie A in Italian football for the winger. Our first goalkeeping scouting report has come through. Can we find anybody half decent here? It's not looking good so far, fellas. This is not okay, maybe this guy. I'm going to sign Charlie Mason just because there's no better options. And I'm also going to sign Gavin Lloyd, but we need our scout to bring back better. But here is our squad after the opening summer window. It's an okay team. I don't think this team gets us promoted though, unless Wilson, Cullen, and Ronald go off or somebody else steps up and becomes a superstar. I don't think we get promoted with this team. I hope to be surprised, but it might also be a good thing for us to stay in the championship until we feel ready. For me though, promotion isn't even my number one goal. My number one goal in this second season is finding a goalkeeper of the future. But our 3 months trying to find a goalkeeper has come to an end. We've signed 4 players to the youth academy, and to be totally honest, I'm not kicking my feet and giggling about any of them. Amir Clark's probably the best prospect, but I think we're going to have to do another 3 months here scouting goalkeepers. In fact, honestly, I was thinking about it. I'm going to do the full season with goalkeepers right now, just to guarantee, not even guarantee, give us the best shot of finding somebody that can be at least in the squad for season number 3. This is better than I expected though. 1st of January, we sit just outside of the playoffs. Bolton are up there. Bolton are in the playoffs. They're on their own little road to glory here, but we sit 4 points away. I'm curious to see what the second half of the season has, but this is honestly ideal. It's not like, I don't think we should be wanting to get to the Premier League right now. I think we get to the Premier League and we get relegated straight back down. I would rather be in the promotion hunt every year, but just missed out. So we're winning most of our games, getting good growth, getting good dynamic player potential. Purely for squad depth purposes, we are going to be signing Tyler Roberts here in the January transfer window, backup attacking midfielder. If I'm going to be selling a lot of our older players that aren't Welsh, and I'm going to be loaning out a lot of the players I end up signing, we just need to sign some Welsh players that I'm not too worried about them growing and becoming superstars. I just want them in the squad for pure depth reasons. Tyler Roberts falls into that category. And so does Brandon Cooper. We're going to sign him from Leyton Orient. Judging by his picture up there with the shoulders, I assume he's a former Swansea player anyway, so we're going to bring him back. Finally, we've got somebody that looks half decent though in the goalkeeper youth academy. Amir Pierce, I'm going to sign him, promote him immediately to the senior team and try getting a loan for him here in January. I told you guys I was going to get rid of him this year though. It is Pedersen who is leaving the club. Christian Pedersen heading to the Portuguese league. There we go, lads. We got a loan move for Amir Pierce, the big youngster heading to Barnsley for the next 2 years. We're nearing the end of the season, about a month to go left in the season, so I'm going to promote the 17-year-olds to the squad. We've got Amir Clark. The Amir's just coming out of the youth academy. Charlie Mason, but the one that I'm most excited about is Michael Pugh. I used to play cricket with a guy named Michael Pugh when I was a kid. Good to see he's turned to goalkeeping, but 79 to 94, 61 overall. He's definitely our best prospect at the moment, so I'm going to promote these guys so they don't leave and then get them ready for a loan move next year. But we sneak into the playoffs here. We have snuck into the playoffs. If we get promoted, that would actually be hilarious. Southampton and Everton back up to the Prem. We've got to battle it out with Watford, Sheffield United, and Bolton for that final Premier League spot. Relegation zone is going to Burnley. Almost got relegated, but it's Birmingham City, Charlton Athletic, and Blackpool going down. Tottenham win the FA Cup. Chelsea win the Carabao. But we have been thumped by Watford in the playoff semi-finals. We go down 4-1 on aggregate, and Watford end up getting promoted anyways. Big year here for Ronald, and a big year for Harry Wilson. Ronald could be the man. He could be the man of the future. 24-78. He's got time on his side. That's going to be an interesting one to follow. Cullen definitely batting above his weight, but we're going to have to think about a striker of the future down the line here soon. The big one though, how'd the lads go on loan? Abdullah up to a 65, Charlie Savage +2 growth, Parker up to a 62. Some of these guys, big pressure on them to grow. +2 here for Amir Pierce, but him and Pugh look like our two most likely goalkeepers of the future at the moment. Kulmas up to a 69, Luke Harris up to a 71, Cottrell up to a 59. So it's coming along nicely. Huggins is not developing as much as I hoped he would, so I'm going to go out here and get ourselves a new, younger, higher overall left back. It is Owen Beck. 7.4 million pounds. His value goes down slightly, but that's okay. 22 years of age, 74 overall. He comes into the squad as a huge improvement. I would have gone in for him in season 1, but he was out on loan. I've also started to look at the free agents list and see if any good regens came in. We're going to find one here. Rodri Collins, 18-year-old centre back, can also play left back. I'm going to sign him and immediately look for a loan. We are going to be saying goodbye though to Nathaniel Ogbeta, who heads to Heidenheim. And let the loan moves begin. Charlie Mason heading to the French league for 2 years. Michael Pugh heading to Huddersfield. I've got so much hope in this dude. Amir Clark heads to Huesca. And Charlie Savage gets a year-long loan move to Luton Town. And there we go, Rodri Collins gets his move. The young centre-back heads to Braga for 2 years. But we are not done yet, lads. Jordan James, the former Birmingham City man, is going to join us here at Swansea City. £2.7 million to come across from Angers. I want to convert him into an attacking midfielder because I think he could be a good long-term option. That only takes 2 weeks. Perfect. I'm going to make that happen and then throw him up on the loan list. But for the youth academy this year, of course, heading to Wales. But for the next 6 months, I'm focusing solely on our striker of the future. I want to fill the gaps, plug the gaps where we are lacking on decent prospects. Striker behind goalkeeper is the next priority. All right, perfect. Jordan James, now an attacking midfielder. Let's go get him a loan move. If there's competition between him and Luke Harris, that is fine by me. Competition is going to breed the next generation. Jordan James was in demand. I was surprised. We get him a loan move. He had like 5 teams come in for him in a couple of days, but Union Berlin is where he heads. So there we go. A lot of faith put into the next generation. Beck joins the side. If we missed out on the promotion, like we made the playoffs last year, I suppose pushing for promotion's the goal this year. Some of our players are probably ready for it, but again, I'm just still so nervous about getting up to the Premier League. Let's see how we go this year. 1st of January, we are in the promotion hunt. Again, it is a log jam here for the playoffs, but we currently occupy 5th spot in the championship. I'm interested to see how this season progresses. But for now, here in January, we've got some players into the youth academy. One of them I'm bringing straight in and trying to get a loan move for is Bryn Griffin. 63 overall striker, half decent potential. Try to get him a loan move. I'm also going to bring this Nathan Hughes guy in. I'm not too confident. I'm just going to bring all the 17-year-olds across and try getting them loan moves. At this point of the career mode, we're just throwing shit at a wall and seeing if it sticks. There we go, fellas. We got all of the players off on loan. I'm hoping at least some of them come back next year and they're looking like decent prospects. I'm prepared to cut a lot of them though. We're in the playoffs again, lads. 4th in the championship. Leeds and Sheffield United go up. Are we going to get promoted to the Premier League here? We've got Luton, Burnley, and West Brom to get through. Relegation zone though is going to see Plymouth Argyle straight back down, Derby County down, and Huddersfield down. Huddersfield going down and them conceding 85 goals isn't really great signs for Michael Pugh though. Hopefully, I mean, he is there for 2 years, so at least he'll probably get more clean sheets in League One. West Ham, the Hammers winning the FA Cup. Arsenal win the Carabao Cup 4-0. We're heading to the playoff final. We take down Burnley 5-1 on aggregate, and we're going to be versing Luton Town for a spot in the Premier League in season 4, which we get. I'm conflicted, but I think it's probably time that we go up to the Premier League and face our demons, battle them out. We're going to the Prem. Swansea are back up to the top flight. Harry Wilson, oh my God. This dude is a superstar. 40 goal contributions plus 6 growth. He's making a late career boom here. Ronald up to an 80 as well. Cullen to a 74. Dylan Levitt at a 78. Now that's decent. Nico Williams at a 79. Charlie Savage gets himself up to a 71. All right, how'd the goalkeepers go? Mason up to a 63. Clark, 64 there for Tony Ward. Pierce is up to a 67. Pugh up to a 68. So we have got prospects definitely coming through now. I'm happy with that. Rodri Collins +2 up to a 70. As we saw Charlie Savage at a 71. How did James at a 72. Luke Harris at a 74. I think he's coming back next year, so I may elect to start him at the attacking midfield role ahead of Oliver Cooper. Coolmass, I'm probably going to look for another loan spell for him next year, though. Tony Howell's up to a 63. How'd the other strikers go, though? 59. Brian Griffin, or Bryn, I'm going to call him Brian Griffin after the Dog and Family guy. But Griffin up to a 65. Bennett a 55. So the strikers are lagging a little bit behind the goalkeepers, but Griffin might be the guy we put stocks into. But after 3 seasons of toiling it out in the championship, Swansea City are heading back to the Premier League via the playoff final. We have a massive challenge ahead of us though, if we want to survive the Premier League with this Welsh only side. There is absolutely no denying that we need to make some big changes to the starting 11 if we want to stay up. So we're going to sign Ethan Ampadu here from Leeds United. He desperately needs a new face scan because he's looking a lot different from his face scan, but £15.2 million to bring the Welshman across is an absolute bargain. Niall Huggins desperately wanted out of the club though, so one of our earliest signings is departing permanently to FC Nantes. Another year, another loan move for Jordan James, who goes to Porto. Lewis Coolmass goes out to Augsburg for the next 2 years. And Joel Cottrell will be heading to the Saudi League on a permanent transfer. I knew I wanted to sign him at some point of this rebuild, but the time is now. Brennan Johnson will be making the big money move, the club record transfer move across from Tottenham rather. And to be honest, I don't know if we're going to break this transfer record throughout the entire video unless somebody emerges from the shadows. Brennan Johnson will more than likely be our record transfer in this Swansea rebuild. I'm really happy about this though. I've converted Charlie Savage to a center midfielder and I've sent him on loan to Augsburg. So him and Kumas are going to be playing in the same side together, which will be great for their chemistry. But I have made a massive change to the starting 11 for this season. Ronald is going to be playing center forward here. I've brought him back a little bit. Harris takes a few steps back and still playing attacking midfield because we need to fit everybody in here. Wilson, Ronald, Johnson, that's a deadly front three. I'm worried though that not having a good enough goalkeeper and a not super strong midfield is going to cost us here. We need the lads to bag 1 million goals and we need Mpardu honestly to step up in his debut season. But we've successfully converted Ronald to a center forward. I need to get his shooting stats up a little more though. The finishing's all right, but the rest of them are not so great. It is not a surprise that we are in the relegation battle right now, but I am relieved that we're not in the zone right now. We're only 1 point clear and there's a 5-point gap between us and Newcastle, but it could be worse. We could be Sheffield United. I won't lie, lads, this isn't a super inspiring signing, but we're going to bring Callum Jones across here as a free agent. We didn't have a crazy amount of money. There wasn't really anybody I wanted to sell and not really anybody I needed to sign immediately. So we're going to bring him in as a bit of squad depth here and just boost up our numbers and the squad overall. Callum Jones, welcome to Swansea. Oh, we're going to get relegated, aren't we? It wasn't pretty, but we finished 4 points clear and we survive relegation. It comes down to the final day, but Bournemouth, Brentford. Bournemouth just survived. Brentford, Sheffield United, and Wolverhampton all go down. We finish 16th, which is a huge relief because we were not even close to the mid-table clubs. Premier League champs, though, surprisingly not, is Manchester City. Arsenal win the FA Cup. We went really deep in the FA Cup, losing to Arsenal in the semis. Would have been wild if we were playing Europa League football next year. Aston Villa win the Carabao Cup. Taking our first look around Europe, though, AS Monaco fall to Real Madrid in the Champions League final. Borussia Dortmund win the Europa League, and Borussia Mönchengladbach win the Conference League. Harry Wilson, you beautiful man, I could kiss you. 25 goals for our Welsh wizard. It's saddening though because he's hit the 30-year age mark. Man, I hope he continues to grow. Knowing EA though, knowing this game, he could fall off a cliff really quickly, so we need to make sure we try our best to sustain him. Great first year here for Brennan Johnson, 27 goal contributions, and Ronald doing a job at the center forward role. Luke Harris up to a 76. I wanted more from him, although Cooper, they've shared a lot of the game time. We will be saying goodbye to 3 players at the end of the season though. Nathan Broom, Cameron Congrave, and Andy Fisher, all walking on frees. Do we have anybody ready for goalkeeper? Maybe I give Pugh the keys next year. 72 rated. Meanwhile, Ward is 74. So, I don't know, man. I might just have to bite the bullet and give Pugh the starting spot. We've also got a lot of players having great years, so we've got options at the goalkeeper position. Collins, I wanted more growth from him. He's up to a 72 though. Charlie Savage, probably not going to be the center midfielder of the future, which is really disappointing. James up to a 74. Kulmas only +1 to a 74. I'm losing my head, lads. Striker's not doing insane either. Griffin up to a 68. So it looks like Ronald's going to keep that center forward role for the long term. But we survived relegation, and right now that's all that matters. We've still got so much ahead of us though if we ever want to complete this rebuild. We're here in season 5. I've spent the last half an hour combing through every single Welsh player in the entire database, position by position, and found one player that I feel like we need to sign. And it is this man right here, Connor Connick. That is an awesome name, but the Welsh midfielder is going to join us from Tromsø. 22 years of age, 75 overall. Looks like a decent prospect. I have no clue what his potential is, but based on the base alone, it's worth having a crack. Center midfield is such a position we're struggling so hard with, so we're going to sign him. It has been decided, ladies and gentlemen. Danny Ward is on the out. It is Michael Pugh's time to shine. Danny Ward heading to Luton Town for £690,000. And I think we know we've got somebody good if Manchester United is coming in for them. Michael Pugh is going nowhere. Someone that is going somewhere, though, is Jordan James, another loan move for him. Need to get some loan moves for all of the goalkeepers, though. So the first one here is Amir Pierce, but I'm not going to show you all of the loan moves I make because there's going to be a lot. But I will show you a player departure. Oliver Cooper. I want Luke Harris getting all of the starts this year, so we sell Oliver Cooper. And we will also say goodbye to Matt Grimes. I want to make sure Connell has the best start possible and gets as much game time as possible, so we're going to sell the Englishman to Nottingham Forest, but we say thank you for your service. Not sure we could have got through the starting seasons if it wasn't for Matt Grimes. The front three is honestly carrying us. This team is so confusing because I feel like, I don't know about Ronald, but like Wilson and Johnson we could keep for the rest of the video and be sweet. I'm more worried about them aging out. Our midfield, I don't know, a lot of pressure on Connick and Harris. The defense, we need a new centre back, man. I'm so conflicted. Pew 73. This is such an interesting rebuild, and I find myself with a lot of questions and not many answers for the first time in a long time. One thing I have realized though, I accidentally loaned out all of our goalkeepers, so I might go see who's on the free agents list and nip that in the bud. Who have we got here? Nationality, Wales. See if we can get somebody in free agency here. Yeah, there's plenty of options. I think I'm going to go in for this Michael Taylor guy. I could have gone in for somebody a little older, but Michael Taylor's 23. I don't really feel the need to loan him out. Sporadic player, rotational, we'll take that. 5 years, come on. No release clause, and now, yep, we've got unlimited money at this point because there's nobody we really need to sign, so we'll accept that, and we've got ourselves a new backup goalkeeper in Michael Taylor. And with that, let's see what this season has in store. I just cannot imagine a reality where we win the Champions League here. We almost got relegated again this year, lads. 7 points clear of Norwich, who go down alongside Everton and Burnley. This is a grind. Why did I just do a normal rebuild? We'd almost be done by now. Stop that, Jared. You love a challenge. You know you love it when it's tough. Anyways, I digress. Scrolling up the table, and it is Tottenham winning the Premier League, equal on points with Chelsea. Man City win the FA Cup over Leicester. Man City also win the Carabao Cup. The Champions League goes to PSG, the Europa League to Juventus, and the Conference League to Bayern Munich. What are they doing there? Harry Wilson, what is going on? We are ruining this man's prime. We are ruining his prime. 89 overall at age 31. Keep growing, please, Harry. I want you to be 35 and still growing. You're putting up numbers. You're one of the highest rated players in the world, and you're playing for a relegation battling Swansea. I feel bad. Ronald up to an 84, 9 goals for him. How did our goalkeeper go? How did Pierce got up to a 75, Pew up to a 76, which is decent, but I need more, man. I need more. Collins only up to a 73. Savage up to a 75. Connick up to a 78, which is a half decent start here, so I'll keep faith with him for a little while. James to a 76. Kumas to a 76, man. Griffin comes back from his loan. He's 71 rated. We've still got so much work to do. I think the majority of our squad is heading the right direction. It's probably just going to take time. The centre-back role, though, is concerning me. Unless Rodri Collins turns into a superstar, then we really have no options once Cabanio starts to decline. I'm going to sign this guy, Dylan Evans. I'm not too optimistic, but he was really the only good centre-back available. So I'm going to look to get him a loan move just like Collins, who is 75. He's really the only option. So if there's no good options, we're going to have to make them ourselves. We're going to send Jake Kent on a season-long trip to Wales to find us a centre-back. That's the primary focus now. We need a centre-back, and we need one quick. If we don't find ourselves a decent centre-back this year who is even further progressed than the normal youth academy player, that could set us back years. I'm only looking to sell one player this year, though, and that is Connor Young. He came back from his loan spell. He's only 61 overall, so we're just going to cut ties with him. If he grows on his own, then great. I'll make sure I bring him back, but right now, it's better off just selling him. And I probably don't even need to bring this up anymore, but we are going to be making a million loan moves here this year. I think you should just expect that to be the norm every season from now on. So we've loaned out like 3/4 of the squad, as is the tradition, I feel like, every season. But this team is too good to be battling relegation every single year. We've grown a bit in the past year, but man, Wilson's 90 now. This front three could win a Champions League right now, and we spent last year battling relegation. I get that Pew and some of the other players, Connick, are left behind a little bit. They're younger players, but man, I think we should be trying to get at least some sort of European football this year. I might be wildly overestimating what we have, but if the young guys can step up a little bit, get a little more growth, and we can put it all together, why not? This is an improvement, but it's not Champions League or Europa League or bloody Conference League. We're 13th with Swansea right now. Liverpool Liverpool down in 21st. At least we got a 9-point buffer on the relegation zone. But I want to be climbing up that table, man. I want to be up there with United and Chelsea and Villa. Our scouting report has brought a few half-decent players across. I'm going to promote 2 of them to the senior team. Actually, 3 of them here. Mark Matthews, good overall, not too great potential. Reece Cook, decent overall, decent potential. And Scott Lewis, 16 years of age, 59 overall. That potential is very exciting though. I'm going to promote them here in January and get them all loan moves. But just after I say that, on the 5th of January, Curtis Andrews has come onto our radar. 17 years of age, 62 to 84 overall already, with potential of 83 to 94. I'm signing this dude and I'm seeing what his overall is from the jump. This is work. All right, I'm going to sign a bunch of guys from this report. This has worked out decently, man. I'll bring these guys along just in case, but man, I'm excited. 69 overall, Curtis Andrews. Man, bun and all. Get this man into the senior team and let's get this man a loan move. Yeah, this dude's going to be good. PSG are already coming in for him. No chance am I selling him. He could be our answer. A step in the right direction. Mid-table right now with Swansea. 52 points. But again, my big worry is around Harry Wilson. I want him to be here when we win a Champions League title. He's exceeded my expectations as it is, but we're 11th in the Premier League right now. Leicester in the top 4. Man City win by 8 points. The good thing is though, we were not even close to relegated this year. Almost double the points that Fulham had. Fulham, Southampton and Luton Town go down. Arsenal win a North London derby to win the FA Cup. Man City beat Fulham to win the Carabao Cup. Leverkusen win the Champions League. The Europa League goes to Manchester City and the Conference League goes to Leicester. Leicester are back to their prime. Brennan Johnson and Harry Wilson splitting the wealth in terms of goals, but 14 assists there for Harry Wilson. I thought Harry Wilson was going to be like a 2 or 3 season player, but he's on his way to entering the Rebuild Hall of Fame at this rate. Ronald has been solid as well, but I just don't know if, I just don't know what's going to happen here, man. Connick into the 80s, which is awesome to see. But the big thing I want to see is how our centre backs went. Lewis up to a 61, Cook to a 62, Matthews doesn't even grow. Andrews only up to a 70. I suppose he was only out on loan for half a season. Evans up to a 73 and Collins up to a 76. But with Cabanyo hitting the 29 age mark, man, we need somebody to step up and take his spot soon. We have got a lot of options though in the goalkeeper role. 76, 74, 74, 76, and then Pugh, who is 78. Pugh's still probably the guy that I'm going to keep as the main goalkeeper, but he's got some competition now. But it is now time to move into a 7th season on what is proving to be one of the toughest rebuilds I have ever done. For me, it's looking like a season heavily on the loans with probably no signings, but there is one man I'm going to get rid of, and that is Charles Sago Jr. He's been on the transfer list for about 5 years now. He's wanted to leave, and I'm finally going to grant his wish. We have to get European football. Our window to use this front 3 to help win us a Champions League is closing, and it is closing rapidly. Levitt's getting close to ready. Ampadu's close to ready. Beck and Williams are close to ready. We just need the young fellas to just take that next little push, get them into the mid 80s, and I think everything's going to change. I think this is going to be a quick overnight sort of drop where we go from being a relegation mid-table team to one of the best in England, and I'm praying, I am pleading to the FIFA gods, make it this year. Finally, fellas, there is a light. There is a bit of light here on the 1st of January. We sit 3rd. I am so worn out right now. We sit 3rd with Swansea. This has been such a mental challenge. It's only FIFA. I get that, but still, we sit 3rd right now with Swansea City. We need to be in the top 4. We need to play Champions League footy next year. Unsurprisingly, Harry Wilson has submitted a transfer request, but I refuse to sell him. I will not be selling Harry Wilson. He is our best player and we will be screwed without him. 3rd place in the Premier League this year. Oh my God, you guys don't understand how much of a relief this is. We're playing Champions League footy with Swansea City next year. Holy crap. And honestly, I'm praying that our young players have had significant growth this year, and so that we can actually have a crack at the Champions League next year. Arsenal win the league. Ourselves, City and West Ham play top 4 football. Leicester fall out. Liverpool and Man United have had stinkers, but it is Brentford, Everton and Norwich going down. Aston Villa beat Bristol City to win the FA Cup. No FA Cup run from us though. We went out in the round of 16. And Man City win the Carabao. PSG win the Champions League. I'm so hopeful we can do something. Please, something next year. Leicester City are going to be playing Champions League though as they win the Europa League. And Lille win the Conference League. Another massive, insane season from Brennan Johnson. 27 goals. Ronald getting 14. Luke Harris 11. Harry Wilson though, he gets 20 assists, which is crazy. But I'm not so worried about his results on the pitch. I'm worried about the fact that he's going down in overall. Next year, honestly, might be Harry Wilson's best chance of doing anything in the Champions League. But Lewis Kumas is slowly developing. He's into the 80s overall wise now, which is a great sign. Griffin up to a 76. The Hughes up to a 75, which is good to see. Pugh grows to an 81. And again, a lot of young goalkeepers coming up and trying to get their name in the starting lineup. Collins at a 77. I was hoping he was going to be at 79 so we could start him next year. Evans and Andrews both 74. But lads, I'm going to take a breather. I am so mentally drained from this so far. I'm going to take the night. I'll come back tomorrow. It's going to be about 5 seconds for you guys. And be mentally fresh for a Champions League run. All right, boys, so I've slept on it, and I've looked at this squad again with fresh eyes this morning, and my opinion is still the same. I am paranoid that we don't have what it takes at centre-back. So we're cracking on and making a centre-back signing here to kick off season number 8. Curtis Pearce, 1.8 mil. His value goes down, which isn't a great sign, but I'm coming straight out here, throwing him on loan. But yeah, another realization I've had overnight, I am questioning why I did this. I am a sucker for pain. But we've built the foundations. We need to reap the rewards. We enter the Champions League for the first time. And like I said, the last few years are really approaching here for the prime of our front three. We need to capitalize on it as soon as possible. I'm really nervous about Wilson. I don't want him to drop down to the mid-80s. But in the Champions League, we've been drawn into a pretty difficult group. Bayern Munich, Benfica, Dinamo Kiev. How we go in this group is really going to determine my confidence levels, because I could see us winning the group, but I could also see us losing the group. So let's just bite the bullet and figure out how we go. And in our first Champions League campaign, we get out. I feel a lot more relieved. I'm not surprised to see Bayern Munich top of the lot, but the fact that we managed to hold it with them for the majority of the season and the group stages is awesome. We're into the round of 16, but who are we facing? We have got Inter Milan, who tend to always be so good in these videos, and I feel not robbed, but you got teams like Fenerbahce, Hoffenheim, Sporting, BSC Young Boys, RC Lens, all in, Leicester City, but we get Inter Milan. Probably deserve it after coming second in the group, though. I'm not sounding the alarm yet, because we're only 5 points with a game in hand away from 4th place Leicester, but we need to turn it around in the second half of the season, because now that we're here in the Champions League, we need to get Champions League qualification every single year. Spurs down in the relegation zone though. But we're just going to have to get stuck into it here. We've got Inter Milan. First leg at home, our first ever knockout round game with this all Welsh signing Swansea side. Come on, lads. Strong first leg. It is a draw, and we would have had the lead if Kai Havertz didn't get an 89th minute equalizer. That's pretty frustrating. And now we go to the San Siro with a tie ball game ahead. All right, here goes nothing. Cabanyo wearing the captain's armband. We're away at the San Siro. A 2-2 scoreline for a spot in the quarterfinals, which we get. Oh my God. James off the bench. Jordan James off the bench comes on and bags himself a brace. The 89th minute, he sends it to extra time, and he becomes our hero ×2, as in the 102nd minute, he gets us the winner. That is incredible. We are into the quarterfinals. I have a lot more confidence now. Huge, lads. Huge. It is City versus City. Swansea versus Leicester. Champions League quarterfinals. Villarreal and Lens hanging around here. And with Bayern Munich and Man City playing each other, another juggernaut's going to get taken out there. We just need to focus on taking down the Foxes, though. Once again, we start as the home team, but we cannot allow them to get an 89th minute equalizer. Let's get the lead to take to the King Power. We get absolutely thumped. That is terrible. Johnson misses a pen. Leicester turn it on in the second half, and we have a very tough challenge ahead of us for the second leg in Leicester, as we're 2-0 down. Come on. Here goes nothing, fellas. It's the quarterfinals. 2-0 down. We need a famous result here. I'm not feeling confident at all. We get the win. We sent it to extra time. Oh my God, we actually beat them 2-0 in regular time. But then we completely lose our bottle, and Lozek is going to give Leicester City a spot in the Champions League semi-finals. That hurts. Thank the FIFA gods. We have qualified in the top 4. If I had lost to Leicester in the quarterfinals and came to the Premier League and we hadn't made Champions League again next year, I would have been so upset. We finished 4th and only 4 points away from Chelsea at the top of the table. West Ham, City, Chelsea in the top 4. Brighton miss out. That was such a close Premier League season and such a low point scoring. Did Tottenham end up getting relegated? They come 16th and Fulham got relegated. Imagine if Tottenham went down. Fair play to Norwich. They win the FA Cup. We actually made it to the semi-finals there. If we beat Man City, we could have won that. Man City beat West Brom in the Carabao Cup. Juve end up winning the Champions League final. Barcelona win the Europa League. And Lille win the Conference League. 31 goals for Brennan Johnson this year is insane. He hits 91 overall. Ronald hits 88. And I'm super happy because at age 34, Harry Wilson hasn't declined. Is he going to retire soon? Why would he retire when he's crushing it this hard still? 30 goal contributions. James, our hero off the bench. But for me, the big thing is, how did our centre backs go on loan? How did old mate, where is he? Collins only up to a 79, but with Cabanyo being 80, I might have to give him the starting spot next year. Pew 83, which is awesome to see. Mason up to a 78. And Brian Griffin up to a 78. So is Hughes. Good stuff from the lads. We've got some strikers coming through slowly. Kulmas, I'm probably going to get him involved in the bench next year. I want to go all out for the Champions League next year. And with certain parts of our squad definitely lacking, I need to make sure our bench is as strong as possible. We are going to be saying goodbye to 2 players at the end of the season, though. Brandon Cooper and Nathan Wood are leaving the club. So I have brought everybody back from loan, and this is what we're working with. This is the entire Swansea squad right now. I've given Collins the starting spot, but we need some serious growth from him. Need some growth from Connick as well. But I feel like a broken record. We're going to have to put a lot of stocks into this front 3 this year. Harry Wilson has gone down to an 88 already here in the first month and a half of the year. Kulmas, I need you to grow, man, because you might be getting a call up soon. But our squad is so damn deep. We've got cover everywhere. Is it going to be enough, though, to get us past the quarterfinals this year? This is a much more manageable group than what we had last year. It's even across the board, but there is no big dog like the Bayern Munichs of the world. We would have to be the favorites to get out of this group. Stade Rennais, Feyenoord, Rangers. Can we do it? Can we get ourselves back to the Champions League knockout rounds? Come on, lads. We top the group. Group E is heading to Swansea. 4 points clear of Feyenoord and 9 points ahead of Rangers, who I assume are probably going to go to the Europa League playoffs, but ourselves and Feyenoord into the round of 16. Can first in the group mean we dodge a big dog like Inter Milan? No! It gives the opposite effect. We get Barcelona. Feyenoord get Bayern Munich. We get Barcelona in the Champions League round of 16. Oh my, where are all the teams gone from last year? Why couldn't we get Sparta Praha? So that puts even more importance on us getting back to the Champions League. This year though, I want us to win a Premier League title with Swansea, currently 2 points behind league leaders Chelsea. And just when I was getting worried about Harry Wilson, he went down from an 89 to an 88, and now he goes right back up to an 89, so that's fine by me. Here goes nothing on the road for the first leg at the Camp Nou. What does our Welsh team has? We need the Welsh wizard Harry Wilson to step up. He does not. It is his, oh my god, it is the man who may take his job down the line, Kulmas, coming off the bench and giving us a 1-0 advantage to take back to Swansea. All right, here we go, lads. We've got the 1-0 lead, but it's Barcelona. We can never take Barcelona too lightly. We're at home, full strength starting 11, trying to hang on and get ourselves back to the quarters, which we do. Williams and Harris both pick up yellows, which I'm hoping doesn't hurt us, but we get past Barcelona 3-2 on aggregate. Come on, Swansea. But it looks like we've kept them all here. Perfect. Nobody suspended. But we don't get an opportunity to get our foot off the gas. There are so many rivalry matches right now. You got Die Klassiker between Dortmund and Munich. You got the Madrid derby between Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid, Napoli and Inter's an all-Italian affair, but we have the juggernaut of PSG. And I'm feeling very grateful that we got nobody suspended after that Barcelona second leg, because we need every single person we can if we're a chance against the Parisians. First leg in Swansea is a 1-1 draw. Harris gets an early goal, and Pardew with a yellow card. But PSG had the better stats, but we're going to have to see what the second leg has in store. I'm still very nervous. We need everything to go our way in this second leg. I've done the press conferences. I've done nothing but just absolutely glaze our team. I'm trying to get everybody as happy as possible. I've got us as sharp as possible. Can we get the right result here and get past the quarters? Yes, we do. Come on. Johnson's had a busy day. Picks up a yellow and a brace, and we get past what we did last year. Quarterfinals have been ticked off. We're into the final four. Bring on the semi-finals. But our run of keeping players out of the suspension book is over. Brennan Johnson's going to be out for the first leg of the semis, which hurts. But it was Atletico Madrid who came out on top in the Madrid derby in the quarterfinals. We have been drawn against them. Dortmund win Die Classica. Napoli win the all-Italian affair. So they contest the other two semi-final spots. Kulmas is into the starting 11 though. Brennan Johnson, of course, suspended. Let's just see if we can take I just want to draw. Let's just get something to take back to Swansea with us. We take more than that. What is going on? Kulmas gets a goal. He looks primed for a starting spot soon, but Pardew, of all players, our centre-back, goes on a tear in the second half. We have a 3-0 lead against Atletico Madrid. I'm hoping this doesn't bite me in the ass, but I've rested Pardew and Wilson for this second leg. I am terrified, especially of Pardew getting a yellow card and being out of the Champions League final in our position that is probably the weakest part of our field. So Cabanyo comes into the starting 11. Kulmas comes in. We surely have to get ourselves to a Champions League final. We lose, but we get no injuries, no suspensions, and we're going to take a full strength side into the Champions League final against either Dortmund or Napoli. And so we are going to be versing Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League final here in 2032. I lost to Dortmund in a rebuild a few weeks ago, so I have a bit of a mental edge over me, so I'm hoping we can get a win here tonight and really destroy that. Taking a look around the grounds, Sevilla, they're going to win the Europa League. Meanwhile, Genk win the Conference League. We finished 4th in the Premier League, edging out Man City, Liverpool, Spurs, Brighton, and have secured ourselves by the skin of our teeth Champions League footy again next year. Chelsea win another Premier League title. Meanwhile, Norwich, Watford, and Sheffield go down. Man City win the FA Cup, and the Carabao Cup goes to Nottingham Forest. I genuinely didn't think we would get to this point at stages of this rebuild. This has been one of the toughest rebuilds I've ever had to do, and you bet your ass I'm going try-hard mode tonight to make sure we do not have to worry about next season. We've got Johnson at 31 years of age, Ronald at 30, and Harry Wilson at 35 years of age. We need to get these guys a Champions League title now. Borussia Dortmund do not have a good history playing at Wembley Stadium. They've lost multiple Champions League finals at that stadium, and I'm hoping to add, come on the Swans. It's the biggest stage of them all, the Champions League final. Oh my God, I'm not doing that again. Holy shit, man. Nicely done there from Johnson. Nicely brought back from Williams. Good ball. Decent ball. Defender caught in 2 lands. Ronald. Oh, Kobel smothers it. Karim Adeyemi does this with the pace there. I'm trying to defend using Pardew. And Williams, he forces Pugh to make a tough save. Brennan Johnson stays on side. Plays this one to Levitt. Go back. No, I didn't want to go there. Get the follow-up. Come on, Luke Harris. That worked out so much better. I didn't want it to go to Luke Harris there. I thought I squandered our opportunity, but luckily we're able to collect the scraps, and Luke Harris is feasting. 1-0 Swansea City. They have put that one on a platter there for Adeyemi, and Pardew defending. They lay it there. Jordan has the shot straight at Michael Pugh. Corner in here for Borussia Dortmund to get that one away. They get the header. Just clear it. Clear it, somebody. There we... No. No. Oh my God. I have pressed the square button so many times. Nobody wants to square it. That is the most that is the most annoying way to concede. Dortmund have turned it on since we took the lead. Jordan, huge block, but they're going to get a corner. Just clear it, fellas. Clear it and get into the sheds here at Wembley. Clear the ball. Oh, Connick's done in there. Feed it under. It's a great ball. Go early. Donald. Ronald McDonald, come on, 2-1. Connick unlocked it there. That is the perfect start to the second half. Oh my God, that was clinical all around. More of that this half. Good flick, nicely done there. Ronald, gonna put it out wide there. That's a beautiful ball to Harry Wilson. Harry Wilson taps it on. Harry Wilson holding it up beautifully. Going there, Harris. Oh, good tackle from Tamori. Oh my God, Bischoff has skinned us. Big tackle, Collins. No, oh my God, I thought I was going to give away a pen there. Defend him, my God. Johnson, put that into the corner. We need a good touch. It's a great touch, Ronald. He's taken down. Last man. Is that going to be a red card? Is that going to be a red card here for Jonathan Tah? Ronald was away. That has to be a straight red. Last man, Jonathan Tah's off. I'm in no mood to push it here. I don't need a third goal. I just want to wind down the clock. We've got the numerical advantage. If we could get a third goal, though, that would be great. Feed it. Wilson going through. He saves it. Oh, that could have put this game to rest. But it doesn't matter. We have done it. What a game, lads. What an insane game. But Swansea have won the Champions League, signing only Welsh players. It was an absolute emotional roller coaster, but we've made it to this stage. Harry Wilson was a god amongst men. He's probably going to be crowned as the new King of Wales after this, and it's only fitting that he's the man to lift the Champions League trophy here at Wembley Stadium as Swansea City have won the European Champions League. Fellas, what a roller coaster. If you enjoyed it, click here to subscribe and click here to watch another video.